Welcome everyone to Final Fantasy Randomizer's last class of the Duckling Boot Camp before we head right into the Duck Derby coming up this weekend. This is class 206. I'm Darkmoon, joined in the booth by Lord Fizzlebeef, who will also be a runner tonight, and we're looking forward to a good time. Fizzle, how's it going over there?
Hi, I'm here for the very interesting flag set uh, that our wonderful Duck Dons, one of which is in the booth with us, thanks for Restream Racks, have cooked up for us. Um, I don't know that this one necessarily has a name, but I'm calling it the Legendary Shop flag set. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm
Entrance
excited.
floor. Entrance
Entrance
floor is
floor.
what we have,
Okay.
yeah. So it's going to be an interesting one. As you said, there are legendary shops that we're going to be looking out for, two of them. There's going to be forced recruits at the Fiends that we have to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
which will be a fun time. And it is also
Uh-huh.
entrance and floor shuffle, which means
Uh-huh.
lots of entrances, lots of floors, and lots of searching. So, Fizzle, you want to do character selection on screen, so characters, go.
Oh, okay.
Did you have more you want to say before we did this?
Oh, I thought we were going to go through the
Oh,
the
you're right,
flags,
we need to do
the flag set
flags.
real quick. Yeah,
Well, I have
yeah,
to have that up. I actually have to
yeah.
have that up, so thank you for being on top of things like I'm not. Why would I? Come on.
So
Well,
yeah,
now I'm just... Yeah, go.
starting at the top. It is worth noting that we will have a short Topher today. We're going to need all 4 orbs to be lit.
Mm-hmm,
Nothing super surprising in there. We are going to have to
mm-hmm.
fight all fiends. So Lich, Carrie, Kraken, Tiamat, all in a row, all at the end. It's great. It's great. It's fun. It's great. Difficulty setting. Uh, Scaling today at 70 to 150 across both enemies and bosses. It's a good day when the minimum amount of scaling dips below 100.
Mm-hmm.
There's every possibility that we could have, a 700 and change health Tia 2, but we're never necessarily going to bet on that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's something to account for when I decide how much power is enough power. Encounter rates. 0.6 on the overworld, 0.3 in the dungeons.
Low.
0.3 in dungeons is very low, but we'll get to that in a second.
I do want to
Decent
point out,
experience. Oh, yep, go.
you were talking about the fact that you were going to have to fight all four fiends, but you will be rewarded for it. This honestly feels kind of like a solo version of the Fall League team flags, where
Mhm,
like you're going to get a bonus for killing the fiends, and you're going to want to
mhm,
explore, and in maybe a
mhm,
way you're going to want to try a fiend to find a fiend you can kill early. Like
mhm,
that's if you want that experience, that your grinding is going to be worthwhile and not wasting
mhm,
time. Yeah.
mhm. 100% orb per, or 100% experience scaling per orb. So every fiend I kill is going to rapidly increase the amount of experience I get.
Yep.
Experiences boxes with kind of a fair amount of experience in those boxes. I'm okay with that. As we move down to locations, so no loose, so I'm not going to have to worry about that. Hint givers even better. We've got ice, ordeals, marsh, earth, sea, sky, and canary locked, all vanilla locations, which will help momentarily. Um, we've got a maza, we've got a ribbon. Um, just have to make sure that we keep track of which floors that we actually hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Entrance
It's
floor shuffle is
Yep.
going to it's gonna play a little bit of havoc with the sense of where I'm going to get what I need,
Yeah.
which the hint givers will very much help with.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna comment on that. Like when you're doing entrance and floor tracking,
mhm,
depending upon how much you take in detail, and as you get faster, you're
mhm,
gonna take less detail on your notes, but you're still gonna take some
mhm,
notes. Having a spot where you track what dungeons are incentivized and whether or not you've gotten the
mhm,
item from there is useful. Like
mhm,
Ice Loop is all has all the treasures in it. Ordeals
mhm,
has all the treasures in it, but most of the other
mhm,
dungeons you're gonna see here, those treasures are gonna be spread out across however many entrances it takes to find all of them.
mhm.
Yeah.
In terms of the overworld, we have the always on early open progression as well as the extended open progression. So I'll be able to walk to Elfland from the start. That may come into play. We will find out shortly as we come down
Mm-hmm.
to maps and routing. Um, So entrances and floors and the dead ends. So Cardia Double Top and Cardia Tiny are on the table. No town shuffle is going to make it much. It does two things. Number one, it's going to make it way easier for me to get myself prepared for some of these dungeon dives. And number
Yep.
two, it's going to make it harder to get out of some of these dungeons. Normally, with some of these flag sets, you expect to see towns and deep towns on. So you get down to the bottom of a dungeon, there's a town. That's your easy way out of the dungeon. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I'm gonna take a white mage, but I hate the pick of white mage a lot less, especially if there's level 1 or 2 or even 3 or 4 exit that red mage does not have access to, and especially if
Yep.
you think it might be done in those upland towns and you don't want to have to re-roll later or whatever, just take the white mage out of the gate. That way you have exit. That way you don't go down 47 floors and stare at like Cardia Tiny dead end.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and to
Warp
be
will
clear,
also help. Yeah,
oh, you go ahead.
Warp will also help, but exit is usually the one you really want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to be clear, because towns aren't in the pool and they aren't deep towns, just it creates a spot where you have 8 locations that can't shuffle, which means all the floors of the game are going to shuffle amongst themselves
Hmm.
outside those 8 locations. If the
Hmm.
towns are in, it has a flattening effect for the dungeons, meaning that more of them are going to have floors in all the locations. And not only do you find towns at the bottom, usually, but
Hmm.
also, like, each dungeon can only have so many floors. So 8 extra locations, math, means less towers.
Yes. Um, Also, as Saracen notes in chat, shout outs to heck your muscle memory in this section. Yes. Flip dungeons horizontally will be on. Everyone's
Oh,
favorite.
I actually like it.
Um,
I don't like vertical. Vertical messes with my head, but I find I don't know. I've raced them enough now that horizontal doesn't mess with me because at least the maps are quote unquote the same.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flip
Yeah.
vertical has to change the maps because you
Yep.
can't enter rooms from the top.
No.
But
Yeah.
flip horizontal is easier, and yet also if you're unprepared for it, it is extremely difficult.
It is fun. Fun going into a race and be like, oh, this dungeon doesn't go the direction I expected. Right.
Yeah, everyone's done it. You go down the steps, you hold right as is tradition, and you immediately slam into a wall, and then it
Yep.
takes a second or two, and you go, "Oh right," and then you head back in the
Right.
proper direction.
Or
Um,
going to do Temple of Fiends and bashing
mhm,
your face into a door because you didn't
mhm.
realize the floor was flipped. Yeah.
Um, Lafenish Superstore is on. That will probably come into play later as we
Mm-hmm.
head down to treasures and freebies. Um, the thing I'm going to do a call out in this section is that our treasures are randomized with high wealth.
Mm.
Um, if everybody wants mazas, everybody gets mazas. Everybody wants ribbons, everybody gets ribbons. Rather than shuffling the contents of all the boxes around, it's now each individual box is basically RNG rolled on a chart. Okay, what landed in this box? So 4 mazas,
Mm-hmm.
6 ribbons,
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets dragon armor, whether you can wear it or not. These are the
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things you can experience in high wealth.
You get an opal, and you get an opal, and
Yeah. No marked or no marked or trapped boxes here, so that's good. So we can just open whatever we want.
yep.
As we head down to shops and magic, um, 2 legendary shops on the table: a legendary armor shop and a legendary weapon shop. There are 5 different locations in the game that these can spawn at. It's Dwarf Cave, Marsh 2, um, Ice 1, Mirage 1, um, Earth 2. I think I named them all.
Wait. The
Um,
screenshots are rotating on the screen right now.
oh, I forgot the C one because I always forget the C one and it's never the C one. So um,
Crack
there will
inside.
be a shop
Yeah.
there. Yeah, Kraken. Yeah, it's C2 Kraken side. It's
Crack
that
inside.
one floor right then. Yeah.
I call it C
Um,
dead because unless you shuffle treasures, there's never anything in the rooms.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so there will one of these will be an armor shop, one of these will be a weapon shop, and they're going to have the best of the best gear in the game in these shops. So I can buy ribbons before I open all of them, which will save time because I have to open fewer boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Life and Life 2 in combat, power threshold to 300, softs in battle. Everything else in here as is expected as we head down to
Well,
enemy
hold on.
formations.
Before we touch enemies, you guys, you don't have to scroll. It's fine. But just to touch upon the fact that we have high wealth treasure chests, but we also
Mhm.
have a legendary weapon and a legendary armor that are likely going to sell gear we care about. It
Mhm.
it both encourages and discourages doing too much box opening in the game. Remember, you're going to be racing this tomorrow, and you're going to want to put in a good time. If you let your inner loot goblin in to get all that really good treasure that's out there, you're going to slow down. So you got to find that. This is a seed in some ways about balancing, and like I've already found my key item. Do I really want to do some of these greeds? Do I want to go out of my way to do like any of the hairpins? You got to pick and choose your battles in this flag set when it comes to gear.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So, enemies and formations and bosses tab. Everything runnable as
Mhm.
we like it.
As
Warmech is
intended.
vanilla. Warmech vanilla, that's going to be eventually when we find a Tia floor, that will have a Warmech on it somewhere in the encounter table, just waiting
Yep,
for us.
could
Um,
happen.
place your bets now on how many I'm going to run into. As we also have shuffle scripts, no consecutive nuke or nuclear, all the normal niceties on here.
Yep.
Vanilla tiles, so we're going to be dealing with the single agama, the single eye, stuff of that caliber. Probably
hmm
going to ignore those,
Yeah.
but I might be desperate for experience. We'll see. We'll see
The
how that
best
goes.
the best enemies generally show up in dungeons unless you can get a good grind on the desert, if you even
Mhm.
decide to grind. Uh
Yep.
so yeah, like you might be looking for something, you might not, and because
Mhm.
the encounter table in dungeons is going to be low, you're
Mhm.
not going to be taking a lot of fights.
Yep.
Yeah,
As, as we head down to party composition,
open party.
is my oyster, except
Except
NPC recruits, forced recruits behind each of the fiends, but they will be promoted classes.
yeah.
So, yes, it will be a bit of a bummer to replace something, but at least if I haven't promoted yet, it will be the upgraded version. If I
hmm
get most of what I want already upgraded, that means I won't have to chase down Bahamut eventually.
hmm
Um, but also, I could run into, you know, Master and White Wizard and have thoughts and concerns.
hmm
So, um, positives and negatives to that. It is best to just there's two ways to attack this. The first way is to take advantage of a nun slot so that any of your recruits can be placed in the nun slot. That's the more, I think, safe approach. Or the more, actually, no, that's the more aggressive approach because you're
What I
essentially
would do. Yeah.
choosing to three-man the seed. I will be taking four tonight, and I will be doing my best to utilize the things that I have to replace with,
hmm
for better or for worse. Um, and it could be a chance of anything. And just four of them are going to appear in my path. It sticks them between you and the orb lighting device, so you really do have to recruit them before you can progress with the game.
Yeah. No escape.
As we as we move down to classes, uh, everything in here looks generally normal, with the
Except for
exception of
blessings.
three blursings.
Yep.
Ooh boy, it
Yeah, we're gonna
tripped.
be looking at those characters for a while.
Mhm.
Yep.
Down in equipment
This
and items.
well,
Um,
three blessings, no malice means no downsides, and you're really
right,
gonna have to think about what the upsides are.
right.
hmm
So we start with the Zeus Gauntlet. Zeus Gauntlet, of course,
Nice.
casting Lightning 2 when lifted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this situation, I would call it better than a random AoE caster item because some of those aren't going to be great depending on what entrance floor shuffle puts in my way immediately. But lightning is the most consistent element. Lightning
Mm-hmm.
2, most consistent across the most things. So I'm happy to have specifically that to start.
Yeah.
Um, vanilla item magic, -3 to +5 on gear, 30 on the elemental damage bonus. Um, this all seems like standard fare that we likely have been having for
Hmm.
the last few weeks. As we head down to game adjustments, the one other one down here that I want to give a specific call out to, save on game over. Save, save on game
Yep.
over is your best friend in situations where sometimes the seed will hand you the tower in the middle of nowhere. You'll have your 47 floor dungeon with every split in it. And what save on game over will do is however deep you get into that dungeon, however many levels you get, however many boxes you open, it will send you outside if you have a party wipe, and you'll keep everything you have.
Yep.
And as Rax points out in chat, we have exit at home. Exit at home is save on game over.
Yep.
Um, if you can utilize it, it can be an excellent time saver.
Hmm.
If you can, if you can really plan around it, um, the the uh, the absolute golden strategy is to make it to the last box in whatever dungeon you're in with one character left alive that has almost no health left. You get into any encounter, you let the encounter take you out, you're back on the overworld. You don't need no white magic, you're fine.
Yeah.
Um,
It actually honestly means that in some cases, while the thief is really nice, the fact that
mhm,
they're extra dodgy is also kind of a pain in the butt in this flex set.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cool. Think we're
let's
good?
move on to, yes, no experimental beta flags as we move on to character creation. Oh,
Yeah. What are you going to be doing?
so we got a fighter with plus 40 to starting health, a fighter with hurt undead, and a fighter with resist, status, and lightning.
Yeah. It's okay.
Resist lightning is fine. Resist status, there's a lot of goofy spells out there with status
Yeah.
that I don't hate having out of my way. That would be great. Hurt undead is fine.
Fine.
I can think of worse. Plus 40 to starting health, again, fine. I can certainly
Yeah.
think of worse.
Yeah.
This fighter is fine.jpg.
Yeah. He is perfectly average for three blursings. You kind of
Mhm,
wish there was more, but you don't hate the fact that it's fine.
mhm. Thief, what do we got? Plus 40 to
Fine.
strength is very, very big.
It is.
Um, plus 20 to starting health is plus 10 luck. It means that essentially whatever we find in any of these dungeons, any encounter, a thief is just going to auto run
Yep.
forever. Never will
Yep.
have to worry about getting out of an encounter with a thief. Black belt, if we should happen to get one, we've got plus fighter armor. Normally, a black belt is, at end game, everyone says, oh, yeah, yeah, you leave it unarmored. But if starting out of the gate with fighter armor, if we get a cheap iron armor somewhere,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about this black belt's armor until level 24 or higher,
Yeah.
depending on pluses. Um, it's a good. Um, it's a good safety mechanism to make sure that the black belt stays alive when you start the grind to get it up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I was choosing one, I would be overjoyed to see this.
Yep.
Um, plus 10 hit percent. That gets us, I don't believe, no, that gets us, if we go all the way to 49 or 50, we get 12 hits. But um,
At this scaling, that doesn't really matter.
at the scaling with the regular tiles,
Yeah.
ooh, that is a long climb.
Yeah.
Um, and then plus 10 vitality, it's gonna be just absolutely insano health. Like
Yeah.
it, it'll be amazing, but boy, I don't like black belts in entrance
Yeah.
floor shuffle unless I know several places to try and check for a grind first.
Oh,
Red Mage
hello.
Sage, hello. So we got
Lots
so
of
we got
resist.
Red Mage Sage, A plus, fantastic. We got resist poison, earth, death, time, and status. Or for those who like subtraction, resist everything but fire, ice, and lightning. Um, the big omission in that is fire. Not resisting fire is a bummer because that's like half of what enemies throw at you. but resisting all the insta-deaths, real nice, real good.
Oh yeah.
And +2 to level 1 magic is great, probably.
Probably.
Depends on what level 1 magic is. Now, I was asked questions in the booth before we got started, so let me elaborate on answers now before the audience. We have a white mage with +20 hit percent. Does not matter, don't care. We have a white mage with auto ribbon, resist all. Just resist everything forever. That's a strong pick. And we start with heal plus magic, so that means we get like 2 of the 3 of heal 3, cure 3, cure 4, life 2, stuff in that flavor. There is an incredibly strong argument to pick a white mage. As we move on to black mage, elemental plus magic. So we start with 2 of the 3 of fire 3, ice 3, or lightning 3 down in the level 8 slots. We get +5 luck. They're better at running. We get +10 MDef. The mage MDef is not super, and so +10 helps. It doesn't hurt, but in terms of covering the gap between, say, a mage and a fighter, not the greatest. But it's I put +10 MDef alongside the +20 to starting health. I feel those are comparable. So, boy, we have red sage. Now, we're taking a thief.
Yeah, I agree with the thief.
You-
I mean, the auto
wanna
run
run-
alone. Yeah.
Yes. We want double melee, and we want to have better options. So we're taking a fighter. Double melee is going to keep us going in dungeons, especially with high wealth. We're going to find 2 swords very quickly, I think. And so the thief and the fighter should be able to keep themselves self-propelled through a lot of these dungeons that we go through.
I'm following you.
We gotta have a sage. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta have a sage. There's almost no reason not to take the red mage, but I will put forward a reason in that spell charge growth is a thing, and available spell charges is definitely something that weighs on my mind in a format where at any moment I could be called upon to dive 47 floors worth of dungeon. And so with the plus luck on it, it makes it a secondary run bot along with the thief. So I definitely get out of dodge before any skills happen.
Well, there is the point to be made that right now, if this were a race, you are unlikely to re-roll. And the black mage comes baked in with spells at the very start that you can use to get through a couple of encounters, since you don't know what level 1 magic might be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, double red is great. If I was feeling spicy and I was in a one-on-one race against someone, I might do thief, none, red, just for the sage. But this is I don't want to say a safe party. It's a good party for a group race, I think is the way I would put it.
Yeah. It takes a lot to get me out of Thief Fighter Red Black, because I just it isn't the individual classes, it's the synergy between the 4. And boy, Sage almost gets me there. Sage very nearly gets me there. If that was Sage and improved MP, we'd be running double red or maybe even triple red.
I mean, if it was like Sage with Elemental Plus behind it, then I'd be like, why are you taking the Black Mage? 2 red. That's you have magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused on marathon dives rather than sprint dives. So I think I am happy to roll with this. I'll take the recruits as we find them. Preference at this point is melee to replace melee and magic to replace thief.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree with that.
We'll evaluate when we get there.
Yeah, because the problem is if you replace a mage with a mage, they lose all their spells.
Right.
Then you have to go back and buy them again, which is a pain.
We do have the superstore, so there's that.
Yeah, but
But I'd prefer as few trips there as possible.
What do we think of the choice of thief, red mage, white mage? I don't think either of us would play that.
So here's my going to bat for thief, red, white. Thief, we have the superior end game power if we can promote. We also have the ability to run from everything. Double Sage is impossible to argue against, so I'm not even going to bother trying. In terms of the White Mage, on the strength of that auto ribbon, White Mage, I think if you really, really, really want to hedge bets against some kind of hairy scripts getting in your way, double red white is the play I think I would make. It's a guard against early nightmarish scripts shutting you down before you get access to ribbons. So Thief red white is a play for endgame all focus melee on a ninja, and early game the white mage will get us out of scrapes with bad script placement.
Ale Markin in chat making the point that I was going to make as well, which is auto ribbon is great and makes me more inclined toward white mage, but with the amount of chests you might end up opening, and the fact that legendary shops for armor is also on, with high wealth included, it's less of a valuable thing. Not completely unvaluable, but less valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have talked enough. Let's get going.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit.
And what do we have for magic?
Life Aid Cure 3. Ice 3. Quake.
That Fade is nice. That Life is nice. That Cure 3 is nice. It's all just nice.
It's pretty good. It's not bad.
No.
Armor is...
What? See, okay, so this is the thing. I understand people, like, go ahead, buy your rapier if you want. I understand people, like, buying weapons and armor because they feel like they need that little bit when they're, especially on entrance and floor. But it's also a thing, if you start with the Zeus Bonk, and you start with Fade in this flag set, and Ice 3, and Elemental Plus, I would have walked right on past both the weapon shop and the armor shop and not cared.
So, shout-outs to Rax for reminding me to check the hints. Hint Giver says cube for sale in Elfland, which we will get to eventually. In the meantime, let's dungeon dive. We've got power. Let's use it.
Spicy. I honestly kind of like the early encounter right here, and the thief being super dodgy. Because, I mean, quick instant levels, maybe. Maybe. Don't forget your Zeus Bonk. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Go thief. And I'd be like, well, you should probably get out and save, but why? You have Sogo.
Yep, save on game over, so we're going to press our luck.
Heck yeah. The plastic toboggan is what I call that.
We're opening boxes until I have a reason to open my menu.
Flip dungeon floor, because that room is usually not on this side.
Lots of experience. Good gravy.
That's great. Nothing to complain about. And it also point out, since we're here, that was a long run from first encounter to second encounter, and first encounter happened almost as soon as you got in the dungeon. So, worthwhile burning that off, and then just, like, going into a dungeon without that first encounter to clear floors.
And like that, we're level 10. Okay.
And there's our crystal. That and the vanilla room that's just flipped, so if at any point Fizzle wanted to stop checking sky chests, he could.
Correct. However, we're finding things.
We are. I don't debate this. It's that balance of greed versus the value of the enemies, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But yeah, that's a nice find. The power bonk. The Pro Cape's happy. All that experience is love. Oh my, all that experience is lovely.
So I'm actually going to take the exit here since I'm
Mhm.
basically
You're
out
right
of
there.
gas.
Yeah.
No. Wait. Yes. Yes.
When the power bonk provides more armor than the iron sled.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
You're good on
Okay,
money now. You're good on levels. Like it's pretty nice, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Do not like the health of the manticores. I do not think I will take this fight anymore.
That's fair. And they weren't really worth that much to you at this point.
Mm.
And Mirage, got to check for that door, which is not here.
Nope. Which is not here.
Flip dungeon floor, which we can tell because we came to the bottom door on the left side. And so the magic door would be on the left side, and it wasn't.
Catman with a script would rather not.
Absolutely.
Sure
Saracen
would
pointing
like
out
a.
you can see the door from the inside, which is a good note.
You can, but then you have to walk back outside again. Oop, there's an Excal.
Yo,
Okay, there's one weapon sorted.
Did you get the middle chest?
I got it from the other side because I did this backwards.
I did. Yeah, your path was so confusing. I couldn't tell if you got all the. Yeah. Well, these chimeras are gross.
Not what I wanted.
That was pretty foul. Yeah. Good thing you have a sage.
Okay,
And a
and
dead.
that's this floor done.
And honestly, it's nice to get that dead end out of the way now, because you're on a fairly short tower with easy floors to walk out of.
Mhm.
Yeah. All around, pretty nice.
Load up on heals. Load up on pures. Load up on softs.
You got the money.
Grab a couple houses.
Yeah. Just in case.
Alright, let's see what Topher's got. I'm not interested in pushing for level 2 magic just yet because the magic I started with is strong enough that I'm okay clearing some entrances first. If I didn't have Fade and Ice 3, I had, let's see, like Fire 2 or just Lightning 2, I would be heading straight for Provoca right now. But instead...
Well, I think the main reason to go over Provoke at this point, because your magic is good, is just to get the Bicky item. That would be
right.
it. But you've got entrances you need to clear now, so...
Hey,
Stuff you don't want to... Oh, Topher is Topher. Is this
Topher is
even
Topher.
randomized?
Topher, let me write that down.
I was going to say, we wanted to look at the columns, DM Stewart, because we needed to check and see if they were flipped, and they are,
Which
so we
they
know where
are.
Yep. That is the thing. The two columns that are right in front of Garland, the snake statues, as Saracen called them, are your indication. If they're close to Garland, then it's unflipped. If they're further apart, it's flipped.
And we kill Princess Sarah. How dare you? We said tag, you're it.
She vanished. NPC guillotine.
Now, Princess Sarah is getting her hide and seek game on.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can find her later in the seed.
Are you gonna do Provoca, or are you gonna do? You're doing Matoya. I was just asking that.
Yep.
And you saved right there, just in case there's nothing here.
Pretty much.
Yep. May as well reset if this is nothing.
Oof. Awful lot of encounters for 0.3.
Well, it's 0.6 on the overworld.
It is, but it's 0.3 down here.
But you got it on the overworld first, so just say it. Lots of encounters on the overworld. Oh, ice loop! Yay!
That's fine.
At least you're getting it out of the way.
I'm real interested in gear still, so I'm gonna check both tiles and boxes.
More experience.
I'm okay with that.
Always with the experience. And run from them. Oh yeah, you gotta slow walk that, Mecklin. All of us have at one point or another walked right into a hole accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, dragon armor.
Plus
There we
4,
go.
defense plus 1. Woo! That was probably the nicest Frost Dragon room I think I've ever seen.
Seems good.
Right? Like that. That was pretty. That was real pretty. Yeah. Yeah. I will slow walk not just that and a Roostic. Okay. I will slow walk not just that floor, but also the area of that floor right in front of the eye. Ice sword. Ooh, lovely. And I mean,
Ice sword.
dragon -1 on the thief is fine.
Eh.
Okay.
I'll wait. Dragon
Okay.
-1
I mean,
is.
if you didn't do it now, I'm not going to encourage doing it at all because you'll just find something better.
Yep, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yep.
Who even rolled the seed? I used the patented Danny method to roll the seed.
Well, we haven't seen spiders, so we couldn't prove that yet.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything down here that can kill you quick. Well, no. One Frost Giant on its own is not going to do it.
Oh, I'm one terrible script away in a pack from having a bad time.
Where are those Sphinxes when we need them? Or the Manticores?
Oop, thank you, chat, for calling out no,
No
legendary
legendary.
shop in ice.
Which we could see from the exit, at least.
Yeah, I was too loot goblin focused on boxes.
You were.
But also, you can't access it from this side, so it's not a huge deal.
That's true. We wouldn't be able to get to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But now we don't have to come back for it. Yeah, when we discussed finding the defense sword and it was nice, it wasn't to use it as a weapon. It was just because it's ruse. And then we got a second ruse.
Mm-hmm. A defensive +1 is not a terrible weapon, but I can't do anything with it. No, that areas.
Besides, we got an
do
Excal,
anything with it till promotion.
And we got an Excal, so. There's our ship, which I was expecting to find here.
What does the aqua color tell us about where Ice 1 might be? Ooh, I used to know the colors.
That's not. Was it more greenish or was it more bluish? Because it was slightly more greenish blue. I think that implies Cardia. But if it's slightly more bluish blue, it's either what? Waterfall or Onrack? Like Ordeals? Not Ordeals. Onrack area, yeah.
I'm gonna buy a pro ring.
If it was more greenish, then it's probably the Cardias.
Mm-hmm. I'm buying a pro ring here, and I'm sticking it on my life caster.
That's fair.
Wait, what does he resist?
He resists death. He doesn't need that.
Buying it, and I'm sticking it on my melee.
That makes perfect sense.
Because I want it to live. The loot is at the kindly old king from Northwest Castle. Now, this hint is a little misleading because in Entrance Floor Shuffle, it doesn't say that the kindly old king is at Northwest Castle. It just says he's from there, wherever Northwest Castle may be.
Yeah. Okay, so GeoGhosts asked, they're lost about the color thing. So, Entrance and Floor Shuffle, pay attention to the colors, because that will tell you, like, oh my god, nuke and fast. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
The colors will tell you where the entrance of the dungeon technically is. It's weird. Like, if it's just Entrance Shuffle, then each of the entrances is kind of dyed towards where you're actually at, because the game is trying to match your dungeon to the palette of the location. So if you find something at Volcano area, it'll be red dyed because Volcano by default is red dyed. It also applies to the towns, which have special colors in them when you're playing Entrance and Floor Shuffle. So because Ice Loop, the actual loop part of Ice Loop was vaguely aqua-ish, that can imply to us that we'll find at least the top floor of Ice or the second floor of Ice somewhere in the Cardias. And Life been pointing out that he's colorblind, so that doesn't help him. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't design the colors. We're just going with it. There's Titan.
Yep. Up. Okay.
So you
I got
can
a
see
little bit of
Elfland here is,
trash.
for those who can see it, Elfland is pink. Lit 3 is nice. Saber is nice if you end up keeping that thief at some point,
Mhm.
since they can cast it as a ninja. Wall, I guess.
I'm gonna leave wall on the table because I'm expecting to find a bunch of ribbons eventually.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Life
There's
2.
life 2. Sage from Crescent has canal. Okay, that means I need to find a canoe somewhere. I don't want
Yep.
any of those. The
No.
scaling is not high enough that I'm afraid and need lock 2, and I've got so much firepower. I don't think I need ice 2.
Plus, you're low on money anyway.
I mean, I have weapons to vendor if I really needed to. Which,
Which you may,
speaking
because
of,
Cube's here.
because Cube's
Yeah.
here. How much does Cube cost? 24
A
grand.
whole
Okay.
ton. A whole
Give me a minute.
ton. Yep.
I'm gonna make
Hey,
some
that dragon
weapon
sword's
vendor
probably
very
valuable.
happy. Don't need you.
Really?
Yep.
Alright.
Don't need you. Don't need you. Well, we're halfway there. Is there any big ticket armor I want to get rid of? Not particularly.
I mean, I feel like the Zeus could potentially be on the table, but maybe check that after you do these 2 towers over here.
Mm-hmm. It's a little late, but whatever.
I'd say the defense sword Jay Scheidel because, like, what's better than 1 ruse stick? 2 ruse sticks. 1 for each of your melee.
I'm more interested in using it as a weapon at the moment, but we'll see.
Fair.
Let me just more
Elf
notes.
Castle. Yep. Easy
Notes,
walk back out, or just a reset. Yep. So yeah, we found Elf Cave at Marsh. Earth 2.
Earth 2, which has a store in it. What do we got? Well, we got a Coral plus 4
Coral.
sword. That's fine, but nothing.
I mean, it's good for the thief. Yeah.
Super amazing.
Good enough. Thief can do some stuff now. Coral.
I'm gonna skip the room down there just because I don't want to bother with the tile.
Well, you know where the item is, and if you don't want to loot goblin, you don't want to loot goblin. It's fair. I mean, we already are at a point for gear for me where I'm sitting there going, I might just beeline chests or incentives and not bother with anything else.
Oh, hey, free orb.
Yep. Like, you've got enough levels right now, and you've got decent gear for your guys that I feel like through to mid-late game, you're probably okay, and then tail or something. Look at that. Tail or something.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, at least you've got the Black Mage to be your run bot.
Okay, we're on master strats now. Let's go. I'm just gonna walk up here to Dwarf Cave rather than walk back
That's fair.
down, get boat, etc.
That's
We've
fair.
basically ruled that this has to be canoe up here, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
possible that it's some fetch nonsense, but
And honestly, I gotta say, getting the black belt out of the way now is nice, because you know that he's not going to be a late recruit anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Okay, let's.
Chat being cruel, voting for Q block here.
I see you, chat.
That's just rude, but funny.
I want things, and they're
Yeah, you need money right now.
Of things up here.
Yeah, you need money right now. I agree with that. We said money, game.
Oh, the heal stick's
49.
money.
Heal stick is money. Up to the gambit. We're almost there, I think.
So Earthcave looks like marsh. due to the entrance of Marsh Cave, and if we had
Yep.
found Earth and another entrance, we'd be able to tell.
Essentially.
We'd be able to tell we can get to Earth from a marsh entrance.
Or cardiac, because it's greenish.
Right.
Yeah.
Where? There's our first
Opal's
opal.
nice. Yep, here's our turn in for TNT. That probably leads us to something.
Hooray!
Bizzle will always meme.
Yeah, I'm compelled. Okay, Herb, so we got to backtrack to Elf Castle, and here is the other legendary shop. Ooh.
Flame plus floor's nice, but not necessarily to buy.
Well, I mean, I'm here is the thing, and I don't have
I agree.
any armor.
Just counterpoint. You need 23,000 for the cube.
I'm walking my way out of stuff.
You did leave some chests still on the table, so you could check. You could check some stuff, some greeds on seafloor. You could check the chest that you skipped in Earth Cave if you really had to.
Yeah, I've got stuff to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got sea encounters to take.
Yep. Maybe.
Probably.
Or not. Okay.
Oh, that was an idea.
Dungeons are generally not self-contained. Oh, wow. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
No, I know. Aside from the fact that Ice Loop will always be together in all its floors, and Ordeals will always be together. Plus, of course, the Temple of Fiends Revisited will always be one unit. And it will always be behind Garland and the Black Orb at Temple of Fiends. So yeah, you can't find, for instance, Temple of Fiends Revisited anywhere other than behind Garland, and it will always be one unit. So.
Counter table, please.
For now, Ale, you're right. The devs have not put it in somewhere else. Randomly placed Black Orb behind anywhere. The princess. I'm just guarding this Black Orb. I swear I'm not the villain.
And show me canoe. There we go.
Canoe. Well, and then we have to walk past Elf Town anyway, so if we have the money, we can go buy that cube.
Yep.
That was pretty decent routing right there. Saracen points out, the elf prince is just really into outdoor sports. come, let's go camping. I've got this canoe. We can kayak. It's great. There we go. That did the trick. The Light Warriors playing Antique Roadshow. How much would you sell this for?
Slightly dented, never used.
I've heard that it comes from the 6th century. I mean, that must be worth something, right?
Encounter table. I'm gonna need you to not.
And in theory, it's faster to go over there by boat to get to that river dock than it is to walk it. Although the encounter table is doing everything it can to obscure that.
We're gonna stop over here to get the canal real quick.
Well, yeah, because it's the only
What?
way we're getting out of this sea. But are you gonna do other stuff while you're here?
I'm gonna do other stuff while I'm here.
Chain +4 would be nice if we didn't already have
Chain-
flame +4.
That's not who I'm looking at.
Hmm. True, we do have a sage who can wear it.
Oop. There we go. Weapons I'm fine with. I don't feel compelled to check those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Level 6 black magic, not good. There's my cure 4. Give me a minute.
You
I'll
can't
be
afford it.
back for you. Yeah, hang on. I
Don't
want
yeah,
this
don't leave
while
and
I'm
not do
here.
it now. Yeah. I agree with that.
Don't need you. Don't need you. And now we have money.
All I heard in my head was, and on the next on the next episode of Antiques Roadshow.
hmm So, in terms of magic, I am still looking for temper. I would very much like it. Okay, so I
Blacksmith
know
has
that
it.
adamant will turn into floater. So now I'm on the hunt for the adamant. If I leave, there's no northern docks, and that means I have Melman Continent, which is 3 entrances, but I would be walking away from these 2 entrances here. Although it would technically be faster to route later from the side
Yeah.
dock, so I will choose to do that. Paddle back to boat, head for Melman Continent, resolve that.
Speedboat makes everything more interesting.
So the entire tower in Marsh Overworld entrance had green hues from Marsh, despite all being different locations. The game did not try to use the original color, but if you went to a place with more than 2 paths, like Sunken Shrine, you could go Kraken Path, Mermaid Path, and find different tower leading to another overworld entrance. Essentially, doesn't necessarily have to be an overworld entrance, but yes, the splits will have the same hue. The 2 splits in the game being Sea Split to go left right, or Marsh Split to go top bottom.
You'll see a number of these floors are purple.
I really want some ribbons.
Because like Titan Cave and the colors of Titan Cave. But some of these floors are blue for reasons. It's not always 100% easy to predict. Yeah. Marsh Split and Sea Split are the splits. I don't know, man. This is feeling like a reset here to me.
Where did I save last? Outside? I did save
right
outside. Okay,
right outside.
let's go.
Yeah. Let's the go.
We're in the
counter
bad
table
part
has
again,
things
aren't
to
we?
say. Yep.
Nah, I think we were on the tail end of it.
And so yeah, this isn't colored orange because it's pulling from a volcano location that's somewhere else. Ooh, Kraken. That's spicy.
Nah, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine.
All right. I mean, I suppose you do have a body you can put up front.
So here's what's going into my calculation of we're fine. I know that this Kraken, the default is 800. We're somewhere at between 70 and 150% of that. I'm holding 2 nuke casters. I'm holding a very powered melee user, and said powered melee user is having way higher than average absorb, so it will be able to absorb a melee or 2. I also have a second slot meat shield that I care not for their troubles. And so really, I don't think I'm going to need more than 2 or 3 turns of just going all out offense to take this Kraken down.
So the question was, when did the black belt become a master? It was recruited as a master because the forced recruits in this flag set are also promoted.
Okay, well, I might get the worst nuke rolls ever. That could happen.
Black belt casts light tickle.
Oof.
Ow.
Oh.
Okay.
No. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sure.
We're good.
Sure.
This is what fine looks like. Oh my god. Just roll over 200 nuke, please. This is why I like Brack.
And the
Yeah.
god.
Okay, well,
Okay, well we know where Kraken is.
we know where Kraken is, and that Kraken was very tall.
He was very tall and he was very punchy. He did not do anything else.
The key to that fight was to have some sort of script I could laugh at. Could have rused. It's quit a talk.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, he could have. That is true.
no temper, so that's awkward. I don't think there's any more white magic I need. No, I've got basically all I want.
In fairness, you have a power bonk. You could ruse a couple times and then power bonk. Thanks. You could ruse a couple times and then power bonk a couple times, and you could just let the fighter do his thing. But you
I'll
may
be
as well
back
do that later. Yeah,
I'll be
you may
back
as well do that
later when it's a more surefire thing. I also saw that was going to hand me a white mage, and let's just back burner that. Let's just put a pause on that. I'd rather have a floater.
Didn't go to ordeals.
Nope. We're going to resolve these first.
Ale saying you'll be back later for that white mage. You'll be back for it, and then you'll replace it again much later.
All right, Ice Cave, what do you got?
I'm just banking on the idea of the other side of... Okay. I'm just banking on the idea that, in the end, the last recruit's going to be a ninja, and you're going to go right back to where you started.
That would be nice. Volcano, what do you got? Oh, okay.
You're still looking for a ribbon, I know you are.
Yeah.
Chain, experience.
There we go.
There you go. Now, if you hadn't gotten that ribbon, would you have just reset because this was the entrance right here?
Well, I've got more dungeon left to uncover.
You literally just came into here. If you reset, you don't have to walk it out, you know?
That's true, but there was an experience box.
Nah. I gotta save frames, man.
And I'm skipping the bottom room because the step to chest density calculus is not to my liking. I believe Cardia was on? Let's find out if Cardia was on. It was not.
And that katana is sad.
Ooh.
Oh, we get to walk back out.
I kind of really want to walk this ribbon out.
Oh, I agree.
Because with this ribbon, I might be close to done with boxes. Like I'll do Volcano Armory because anything could be in there.
How sad are we that we have a master? Very.
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. We won't have him for long. That is correct, Dale. I'm fairly certain that's true. Yeah, chat's commenting that the katana is still better than the Vorpal, but that's only if the Vorpal doesn't roll up.
Yeah. So, because last location is best location, we're going to head down to Ordeals now, where the Adamant probably is.
I didn't say anything. I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit more about why Forced Master is bad? So, Forced Master, especially in a flag set with vanilla MDef, that Master has no magic defense whatsoever. It is very helpless against basically any spell that comes its way. Further, um, since a Master is really an endgame class, it's not the most helpful right now, and there's no gear short of a Maza I can find that would make it like current game functional. It is less useful than it's less
Oh, look at
useful
that.
than the thief I just had.
I don't know who would have told you I'd always been on ordeals. It couldn't have possibly been me.
Nah,
No.
it's fine.
I gotta give you crap. It's fine.
Um, it's yeah, just to
Master
expand
is
just a
weak
little bit while
right now.
we're
Yeah.
in, because at the levels we're at, level 15, to try and put a parallel on it, it's definitely weaker than that fighter. I would put it on right around the same level as a level 15 thief with that rapier +4 that I was rocking a little while ago. It's not going to do melee, and its health growth hasn't accelerated yet, so it's also not great in the health department.
Well, and let's be honest.
I think it was here.
I thought it.
I think it
Well,
was
we'll find
here.
out. We'll find out. The thief that you were rocking also had a coral +4 by the time you like replaced it, and it had like 40 strength. I actually think in that Kraken fight, for example,
Oh,
the thief would
whoops!
have been much better. It's at Dwarf Cave.
It's that dwarf cave. I'm just testing chat. That's what we're doing.
You made me forget because I was like, I thought it was at Dwarf Cave. This is why we write things down.
This is why we write things down. Yeah, this looks right.
Because it was the correct color. Hey, look, we brought it back around. And this gets
And
us in
they're
the
floating.
air. Yep. Fizzle doing the correct plays, walking in front of doors to save steps.
Yep. If you step in front of doors, it does not advance the encounter table. Question chat, what's our routing look like once we hit the air? Cardia, we need to hit the most dense entrance locations just looking for things and stuff, especially because I don't have especially because I don't have any like fetch items or key locking items or any of that to really focus on. Like, so towns aren't a priority for like town turn in things and stuff. So yeah, Cardia it is. Probably could have gone south to go faster, but we're going this way.
Yeah. Too late now. At a certain point, once you've flown far enough, you just have to commit.
Yep. C, I believe, was incentivized. Let's go have a gander.
I got so used to you
There we
loot
go.
goblining, I was surprised when you didn't.
I was more interested on whether or not this was a good dungeon first.
But Fizzle, have you heard of Second Night?
No.
Game really wants you to think about Second Night. She was in the way. You can't be held responsible. She was in the way.
I got most of what I wanted. Let's bounce. Okay.
That lack of thief can be felt.
Gonna start saving in the air like I should have been.
I was wondering, but I didn't say anything.
Okay, Canaria Castle. This is gonna be 2 items, and I'm really hoping one of them's a key. There's a ribbon and there's a ruby. That is awkward.
Completely not helpful. I mean, the ribbon's nice, but well, just remember, Canary is at Cardia Tiny.
Uh, hey, bus time.
Did you save that ribbon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rules. Let's not. Let's fast. Let's. Nope.
What would happen to your magic if you overworked your red mage with a red wizard? You'd lose all your
So
spells.
yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really check to see what it's overwriting. It just says I'm doing an overwrite. Let's just wipe everything out.
You're a fresh character. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's when you have shuffled promotion, your fighter, for instance, could become a red mage, but will remember anything he learned as a fighter, or say vice versa. Your red mage could become a fighter, a knight, and he'd remember everything he learned as a red mage and would keep all of his charges as a red mage, and would actually have all the equipment on as a red mage when he became a knight. And it wouldn't forget anything because it was a promotion that did that and not a new recruit. But when it's a new recruit from a tavern or from a fiend or for something like that, everything that was them gets wiped away. All your inventory will remain on them, but not equipped, but you'll forget everything. Which actually, in the case of like forced promotion, a random promotion at class change is really kind of handy because like you can have a fighter that becomes a white mage, but they get to keep their weapons on and they get to keep their armor on. So until you decide to remove that, which you can then put back on afterwards, you can have some really crazy stuff on characters that normally shouldn't wear it because the game doesn't stop you. We also just got the key.
I'm not so desperate for levels that I'm ready to mess around
Yeah, no, I got you.
with a full pack of sea snakes.
Yep. And the dead end. Wow, look, a dead end had a dead end. Is this even randomized? Gonna get the Cardia item or Canaria Cardia item. Look at that.
Yeah.
I was right no matter what.
Okay. We've not found the rod lock yet, so that's
Nope.
good.
That is very good. I'm putting all my money on Rod behind Cube behind Oxiel. All at on-rack spot. Nothing
Nothing
here.
in
That
there
was
I'm
just
interested in.
marsh top, so there was nothing there because we don't need the like. That's not where the marsh item's gonna be.
Question chat: Would a forced one-person party be possible, or can you recruit into an empty slot? You can recruit into empty slots.
Yep.
Oh,
Tail
and
on Mirage Tower.
Got it.
So I think, does that clue mean that the tail is actually at the Mirage location?
It does. At the Mirage location on the first floor will be the tail. I don't know exactly what's waiting for me there, but it will contain the tail.
Which we'll probably use. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know we've already seen Mirage 1. I was just, like, I'm not used to checking hints, so I don't know what the hints mean, because who checks hints?
I do, and
I know.
good players check hints, which is
Sure.
why I don't.
I don't normally either.
And there's our chime.
So we can go get tail if we wanted. Not that we know where to turn it in yet. We know where loot is. We know where one of the other bosses is. We're just missing Carrie right now. So in theory, where was loot? Do you remember? We got a hint for it.
Loot is held by Astos, so we're also
We need
missing the
crown.
crown.
We need crown. We need crown. We need one more boss, and technically we could be in go mode at that point. Technically. Ale
Yeah,
saying
we
he
haven't
thinks
seen the splits.
Yeah, Ale saying he thinks Mirage is at Waterfall, or Waterfall's at Mirage.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, you're right. We haven't seen the splits. Crazy.
Yeah, let me just
Ah!
drop a safety save.
My microphone fell over. Sorry, everyone. Stop falling over, please.
I don't think. I don't know. I mean, greater than less than is like right here.
I
And
mean, you
also,
do you. I would skip it, but you do you. I would be in go at this point, but I also
it would
lose
be
those gambles.
it would be nice to have some Mazas.
Mm-hmm. Like, stop falling over, microphone, please. Like the fact is that it's a risk. Like the scaling's low enough, it's probably a risk you could win, but there's a chance that you could just get hosed by not picking up the things that you need and trying to go in when your gear isn't ready. But I'd still
Well,
try.
it's worth a shot. I got experience out of it. That's fine.
You got you didn't pick up the ice shield, so yeah, you didn't even get that.
Yeah, didn't want it. More of a side grade.
Do you have a shield
Or
on
no,
right
wait.
now?
Oh, I still have a bad shield. Well, it's too late now.
I agree with that. Don't go back. Too late now. And a
So
third ruse.
So this
Here's...
is the
I just reset. Honestly.
Yeah.
You didn't get anything.
I know, but I'm writing because that is where we're gonna get the loot eventually.
Yep, that's probably the last piece of go for us. Red mage or red wizard without spells already proving to be far more useful than the black belt.
Yep. I'm breaking for gators right now just because I'd like to make a run toward. I'd like to get closer to 20, and I've already seen a lot of sky floors and a lot of sea floors, so chances of me picking it up from just random dungeon dives is getting real slim.
Yeah.
Question, John, if you reset, does save on game over keep your stuff or do you lose it? Resetting is the way you lose it, unfortunately.
But we didn't really get anything, so it didn't matter.
That's the calculation you make is, do you walk it out? Do you try to trigger an early total party wipe? Or do you reset out and leave all that stuff behind? Those are the questions you ask when save on game over is on.
There's a free step on the shadow.
Ooh.
Pointing that out for the ducks. There's a free step on the shadow.
So we're gonna get tail before Bahamut, which is also good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to know where your free steps are on the overworld because there aren't many.
Mhm.
The Bahamut's got to be down here too because your splits basically have to be here, or behind. Yeah, no, your splits basically have to be here. Um, I had a point I was going to make, and now I've forgotten what it was. Oh, yeah, there's a couple free steps on the overworld on Carrie's bottom 2 tiles of Volcano, and the Shadow of Mirage is a free step. Here's our tower!
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it fun? And no exit.
I'm sure it's fine. Best case scenario, there's a carry down here.
I did call both rod and cube blocks together, I'm just saying.
So here's the
Here's our
first
first split.
split.
Yep.
Let's check up first. Classic.
Classic split to split.
Because I'm very confident that carry is down here, I need to start considering just exactly what magic I'm utilizing and how much I'm going to have left.
Well, here's our Bahamut. Honestly, this was probably the best thing you could have done is find
Mhm.
this now so that you can wander to the other 2 exits and not stress anymore.
Mm-hmm. Do I have good armor? I do have good armor.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough.
Yep, I agree. Best not to think on it too long.
This is also one of the floors that could have a legendary shop on it, but we found both of them.
Mm-hmm. No reason to check here. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Some reason to check here.
It's it's for the ducks. If you
Okay.
want a Mazza and you want ribbons, you hit the brakes here. I will be rewarded.
With the defense sword.
Ooh, I will be
I mean,
rewarded.
it
but not
is a
a
good fight.
set
Yeah,
down.
no, I agree with this.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a defense sword.
Show them the chaos. Nah. Incredible. Well, I'm gonna get some kind of reward out of here.
Excal doing work though. That's nice.
With the vanilla tile shuffle, this is always the tile that everyone says, oh gosh, oh dang, I don't want it. But if you're late game and you're looking to
Yeah.
polish off some levels, this is a fight that you normally find on the Kraken 2 floor. It's very up there in terms of experience that you can get, so long as you're confident in your ability to take it.
Yep. No, yeah, when I first started off as a duck, one of the seeds that was put out to us that wasn't fully vetted had the ice. I think no, it wasn't ice loop. It was agama tile. Was seafloor. Was a seafood party pack, and it was a required fight to take to get the item that was at the red dragon spot. And
Mhm.
basically, it was ambush CPAC that like totally destroyed us, and a lot of us forfeit that seed because there was just like what are we doing? What are we learning from this except Seafood Party Pack is evil? Now, that was an early instance of it, but, if we'd had like 10 more levels on us, that tile would have been fantastic and we wouldn't have complained. So it looks like in the end you're going to end up with Fighter Rainbow.
Yeah.
The irony of that.
I'm replacing my Magicless Red Wizard with that, with the Black Wizard.
Yep.
It will be not super for the moment, but
No. It'll be a body. That's about all it'll be.
Yeah.
And then we're
And
exiting back out of this because we need to find the crown still, which has to be here, basically. Or some chain that leads to it.
We're backtracking to the south
Marsh
split.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, I agree. I fully get that. Hey, sea snakes, there you go. Thank you. Do your job, sea snakes. Kill the party member.
Chat trying to psych me out, saying we left a Maza on
No, you didn't.
Mirage 2 behind. No, we didn't. We checked it.
You checked all of it. Here's where our something bottle to slab to crown. Is that what we're thinking at this point?
Bottle. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah, looking at what's available in our incentives list. there is a Mazamoon in play as well, so... But we haven't found... Did we miss something? We didn't miss anything.
I don't think so.
No. Is there a turn-in we didn't do yet? I always hate this part of the game when you're like, what did I miss? Oh! Waterfall has 2 items. Or it has only 1 item. Never mind. My brain is not working. Crown to something.
It's crown to loot, but then it's something to Maza.
Yeah, we're missing bottle slab something. I mean, I don't think it really matters. We can already finish the game, so we whatever we've missed, we let it go. Is basically what it is.
Yep. And we're taking the express exit out of here.
Titans isn't incentivized to go over them. It's the main NPCs, the fetch NPCs, Ice Cave, which we did, Ordeals, which we did.
I've
Marsh
not
Cave.
found.
You didn't find Ordeals?
We have not found Ordeals.
Oh, so that's where it is. Wherever Ordeals is at, which has to be...
Titans West or Sarda.
Hey, you died. Perfect. Do we care?
Nope.
Cool. Let's go get that loot and be done. Where did you write Estus down at? Okay, perfect. See, I don't have the notes for the entrances in front of me. Not that I'm blaming Fizzle, because I could have the notes for the entrances in front of me and I'd still forget. So, let's be clear. I would sit there for 5 minutes going, where is this? Wait, no, I don't care. Because I don't need the Mazda, so it's fine. Oh yeah, Sogo brought Stab back up.
That's fine.
So after you get the White Mage that's at Kraken area, are you going to hit Lefenian Superstore to power them up?
I'll be hitting Lefenian Superstore prior to that. I'm still after Temper. I would really, really, really like Temper, and the only 2 mages that will be able to cast it are the red and black mages. So I'm gonna get them sorted. Once I get the white mage, I'm getting level 1 Fade, and I'm gonna call it a day.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna remain mostly useless. And then back out.
So at this point, gear is pretty really good and fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little bit of concern about my levels.
I mean, fair. I think you're probably fine, but fair.
I'm some bad scripts away from Problem Town, is essentially what I'm thinking right now.
Okay. Well, you could check the desert. First encounter's very early.
I'll come back to that idea.
All right.
There was also, I believe, the Agama floor that was over at Titan's East or Earth. One of those two.
Although you didn't check the tiles, did you? You didn't check the
I
tiles.
did. Well, I checked the tile that matters. I checked the Grey Worm tile, which is the Seafood Party Pack tile, which is the one I'm after.
Oh, okay.
I could do a solo grind, but I would rather just do a party grind.
Yeah.
Just overwhelming force. Solve everything. Let's buy some stuff. Give you life. Give you cure 3. Give you heal 3. We're gonna reconsider our wall and pick up 2 of those while we're here. Magic.
By the way, Fizzle, your game is half crapping out on us for a second here.
Oh. Uh-oh. Internet, please. Oh no. Internet.
So while we get a PowerPoint here with Fizzle, so you're worried about levels.
Yeah.
So you might try the Seafood Party Pack. Is there any other thoughts that you have about where you could possibly go for that?
Titan's East or Earth is where I found the Agama floor last time.
You'll have to let us know if you find Temper, because I don't think... Oh, here it is. I was gonna say, I'm not sure we're gonna see it if you do. Don't forget, you gotta fight Kraken still.
Nope, thank you.
And we're back, finally! Yay!
By the power of internet.
Comcast being Comcast.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I'm afraid to restream sometimes. This, I'm like, at any point it could just die after an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're throttling, basically. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but a little freer hand for them to do as they want right now.
So,
anyway,
let's take on a Kraken fight. Fast and Temper and Excal. No.
Bad
Fast
turn order,
and
though.
Temper and Excal.
Okay.
Ready, steady, oh, it's still there. Okay. Huh.
Black Mage isn't.
Well, all right then.
There we go.
Minimum damage nuke. We ended the
Hey,
fight the way we started it.
you know, it's actually perfectly done. More experience for the fighter. Yeah, get Fade and Life on the White Mage here for level 1 because they're both here.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a nice, honestly, it was a nice level 1 selection of magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then just make sure you top up.
Probably put some armor. Call it good and let's. You want to
Doing the internet the way hobbits do, with second internet. And it is short Topher. I think you're fine on levels for short Topher, honestly. Oh no, he punched me. Oh no, he fell into the crack. Round 2 fight. Now, is second Kraken chunkier than first Kraken?
I'm about to find out.
Turn order,
With
please.
bad turn order.
Twice in a row now.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have the fast caster, so I'm not concerned. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, okay.
Oh. He was not as tall as the first one. Good note. Oh, hey, there's turn order. It finally showed up. Stun and effective. Big blast of magic. Big swing of sword. Good deal. And now we just have chaos.
I'm still worried. So, we're going to do
fair.
a little bit of party rearranging.
Fair.
Call it good there.
Yep.
And give it a whirl.
The nice thing about short Topher is that if you do die, it's not that big a penalty.
One round of buffing is fine.
131 damage from the Fade.
Nope. One round of buffing, it is.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Another 275. 144 on top. You're up over 500-ish now. Close to 700. 850. 1100. 1450. Almost 2 grand. Probably 2100. 22. Call it 24. So Chaos is rolled up. Any hit'll do it now, though. 26-ish. And
There
that
we go.
did it. Very kind Chaos.
Yep.
So, thoughts?
Overall, I think that went fine. If I was in terms of getting through the seed, I feel like I did good. If I was to attack this from a race perspective, I would have cut out a lot of box checks.
Yep,
I was opening things for safety, and that safety rarely arrived. High randomization, uh, it giveth and it taketh away.
as we saw.
Um,
Yeah.
but I, it's really just a question of which dense box checks do you want to go for,
Hmm.
hoping that the things are going to be in them. 95 out of 241 is still not a lot of boxes, but it's a number of boxes. In terms of replacements, I got the two worst, the ones I absolutely didn't want, the Master and the White Wizard. I would have much preferred to have a ninja at the end there than either of those, but um, I'm happy with the three that I did successfully carry there.
Hmm.
Um, in absence of a chaos approved sword, I'm happy that I had the temper and the bonk. Um, this was really kind on the magic
It was.
front in
It
that
was.
I didn't have any of the transport magic, but I had all the power I could ever ask for. And I didn't have any early dungeons that were enough of a problem to really like get in my way. Even with Sky 2 just immediately out of the gate, I'm standing there with Fade and Ice 3, and that's going to take care of anything on that floor.
Hmm.
Um,
This was a really kind seed, all things considered.
all things considered, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, does anybody in chat have any questions?
It'll take a second. They're 15 seconds behind us easy. I mean, yeah, I don't. I think this is probably about the. Whoa, there you go, microphone. I think this is probably the kindest kind of seed that you would have found for
Mhm,
something like this. I think you'll
mhm,
probably find grosser seeds than this. I think you'll probably find a chaos that's a little worse, or some of the fiends are a little
mhm,
worse in short Topher. I think even at level 24, there's a chance you could have had a short Topher that you'd have to beat your head against once or twice to get through. Like a little
mhm,
more strategy to it.
mhm,
Over and I mean your routing in some areas was spot on to the point that you ended up skipping entrances because you just in the end didn't even need anything. The
mhm,
game siloed some stuff off that didn't matter. So I don't think in every instance you're going to get this. I think like more than likely the race seed that gets rolled tomorrow is probably going to
mhm,
be less kind,
mhm.
just because by default that's the game. It's almost never nice. I mean,
Yep.
we didn't even see spiders, and Danny rolled this, so
We
that
did
should be
see
an
spiders.
example
They
to
all
you.
ran away.
Well, see, there you go then. Like, come on. So yeah, we didn't see the classic Danny spider.
Mhm,
So I think probably whatever you see is gonna be slightly less kind than this, but at the same time, like uh like I think this was probably a good example of what could happen.
mhm.
Um
Comment from Saracen. To kind of
yep.
explain the flag set, there are two Wednesdays that I designed around to fit in lots of weird stuff together. This and 2 weeks ago. This is designed to feel weird because it's going to feel more like a Fall League flag set than others the decks might have seen. I
I
can
said this.
attest to that.
Yeah, I
This
said this.
felt like, yeah,
Hmm.
this to play it really does feel like kind of a mashup of two or three different Fall League flag sets.
Yeah.
Um,
Or if the scaling had been higher and there had been shards, it would have been a co-op
right,
flag set. Like, yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah. It is
This
definitely
will
not a standard duck.
definitely this will
Hmm.
definitely get you experience with flags that
Hmm.
you might not be used to, but overall I think as long as you as long as you remember to go for safety rather and do the things you can rather than the things you think you should,
Hmm.
you should be able to handle, I think, any challenge this flag set throws at you. When in doubt, lean harder on the blessings that you have available,
Hmm.
especially resist all. Resist all will get you through so many different problems.
Hmm.
Um, and because the towns are not shuffled, make sure you have an adequate magic toolkit before in order to feel safe enough to hit the dungeons. I
Hmm. You started
skipped
early and
that
you're
step,
fine.
but also I started with the toolkit.
Yeah, you did. Fade, 2 elemental
Mhm,
pluses plus ice 3. You were
mhm.
golden.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
Chat doesn't seem to have
Like,
questions, so anything else from you, Fizzle?
this was fun. Thanks for having me. Always fun to sort of talk my way through a seed, and um, I didn't forget to talk to an NPC, so that's a win in my book.
Well, I guess with that, should we wrap up then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you like what you saw and you want to see more, come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where you can find links to the Discord and the development Discord, as well as the randomizer itself and all the resources you need to get yourself into the game. This was the last class of the Duckling Boot Camp. We will have, actually, I believe the race tomorrow is not going to be these flags. It's going to be, unless Rex can tell us otherwise here or in chat or something, it's going to be probably a practice run live tomorrow of the first week of boot camp or first week of derby flags, so that the Ducks can actually get some practice in on those. The async tomorrow will be these flags for certain, though, so you'll be able to test these out and try them out and see how it is and learn some really weird stuff and so forth. And Rax confirming that's what we decided, so there we go. It's confirmed. There you go. Along with the boot camp, which is starting up this weekend, which you can go and see all the ducks starting to get their flippers wet in a live race setting for the next 4 weeks. We will also have the Lefenian League going on that started a couple weeks ago. It's running right now. It's just a fun async league that you can jump into and race really weird stuff and have a good time without it being too stressful. And then, of course, as you will see from the widget on the bottom of the screen right now, in June 12th through the 15th, the 13th through 15th is live, while the 12th is our online only pre show. We will have the Rando Marathon Summer 2025. It's going to be live from Charleston, West Virginia for the 13th, 14th, and 15th. You'll get to see all of our mugs on screen while we have a great time hanging out with other communities and running randomizers for charity, all in support of the Liam Foundation. Come be a part of that as well. Come have fun. Come be a part of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We want you in the community. We want you to be here. From all of us here in the booth and everyone at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.